Hello. Almost missed the landing zone, yeah? Could have watched me plop on the floor there. How are you doing? Man, I'm not gonna stay up to 6 o'clock in the morning anymore. Busy working. I've written a book for you below. I stuck it really short with like no margins, so originally it was 30 some pages as a regular book, but I like, you know, very small margins and small print. It's a PDF format. The link is below, and it's called The Assassination. Did I say assassination? I gotta stop drinking that new Coke stuff with coffee in it. The Assassination of the Buddha. Interesting enough, and I am an expert in Pali translation. I've been doing it for well over 2 decades. If you think that's arrogant or egotistical, I don't really care because I actually am. Within this small book, it wouldn't take you that long to read. I have an enormous amount of book and verse citation to back up everything that I've said. So you won't hear that said anywhere. There have been some people very, very remote corners throughout history speculate on this fact, but Gotama, or that person that people call Buddha. By the way, Buddha is Akim Khan, a non-person. Every time you see a statue, whether it be gold or stone, it's like, that's the Buddha statue. No, that's not the case, because the reason why earliest Buddhist iconography will show the Buddha as a pillar of fire or as an empty seat, in other words, a non-entity, because a Buddha is not a psychophysical person, it is an attainment, a spiritual appellation, a spiritual attainment. But anyway, those things are not Buddha. The historical Gotama, who, and by the way, Sakyamuni is not a name. Millions of Westerners will say Sakyamuni Buddha. It's like, do you have any idea what Sakyamuni means? Like, no? Sakyamuni is just Pali, meaning Scythian sage. Muni means sage, yes, or teacher, a guru. Sakya is the Pali word for Scythian. Look up Scythian people. Yeah, they were Nordic people. It's the reason why the principal character in the oldest Upanishad, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, his name, let me ask you, is this name Indian or is it Nordic? The principal character in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, his name is Yajnavalkya. Yes, you can look that up too, by the way. Yajnavalkya. Does that sound Indian? Of course, India didn't exist back then, obviously so. Is that Indian sounding? Or does that sound Nordic? Yajnavalkya. Kind of amazing. Last ice age, there are a few rivers that dump into modern-day northern India. That's where the Scythian people came from. That's who Gotama was. But getting to the heart of this book, and I think you'll find this book very interesting, specifically all the book and verse citations, that Gotama himself was indeed assassinated. There's like nothing short of 100% of Buddhists today, they have no idea this fact. Yes, boys and girls. And just think about it a second before getting back to the book. You could probably find some Judeo-Christian parallels here, yeah, of Abrahamic religions. All these people that were great sages and masters, they were all one thing, assassinated. And the historical Gotama, or what the common Western is, that Gotama Buddha, or the Buddha, he was indeed assassinated. I have plenty of proof. The book is in the link below. Okay? It's not my feelings or conjectures or, what my beliefs are. All evidence shows, and the supporting people that are guilty of same, including Mahakashyapa, who was only called Maha later by his disciples, Kashyapa specifically, the evil one. You'll find a lot of really interesting stuff in this little tiny booklet that I wrote. Yes? And the person who actually assassinated him, specifically, who served him, which was Kunda. By the way, su is prefixual, meaning juice or extract. There's two possibilities. And they'll actually say, well, Gotama died eating pig's meat. And it is the case that in Gotama's time, when people would beg for alms or their begging bowls, even if they were given meat, they would eat it. This notion that early Buddhists were vegetarians is a total lie. Anybody that is a historian of original Buddhism and the text thereof, they will confirm and acknowledge this fact. You stuck in your begging bowl, you ate it. Because you went begging for alms like it was food. It's like you didn't kill it yourself. It's food to keep you alive. So they did eat meat. So they'll say, well, we know that the Pali word of what Gotama died, and he is very, very clearly poison. Because as soon after he eats it, things go horribly wrong. Here we go, at Dignikaya 2.1.28. Having consumed the meal provided by Kunda, the Lord was immediately struck by severe sickness with bloody vomiting, dysentery, incredible pains that racked his body. It felt as if he were on the brink of death. Yana, yes, so he was clearly poisoned. Like, well, what did he get poisoned by? Well, the Pali term is sukarmadava. And it depends on how you split out that compound word. There are two possibilities. People say, well, it means pig's mincemeat. If you actually stick the word pig in there, which madava, we'll say sukarmadava, they'll say, well, it could be pigs. Of course, even rotting pig would never cause anybody to vomit up blood within, a few hours' time. It's poison. He was poisoned. The reason why they mistook that for pig's mincemeat is what it actually says in the ancient Pali, and there's one of two possibilities. One refers to a specific plant that I'll mention here, but the first one could be pig's death. The more accurate translation of two possibilities, it means pig's death. In other words, people cherished their pig. It was their livelihood. They would sell them, on and on. There's this poisonous plant. There's a few of them in India, by the way. One of them looks like a shrub that has little green fruit on it that look like oranges. Pigs will eat anything, yeah? They'll eat anything. And the word was pig's death. Farmers were very afraid for the pigs to eat this because we'd kill the pig and they'd be out all that time and effort of taking care of the pig. So logically this fruit, sukarmadava, is called pig's death. But the incorrect translation say, well, Gotama ate pig's mincemeat. It's like, no, but they called it back then, the appellation sukarmadava means pig's death, because pigs ate it, it would kill the pigs. It was poisonous, period. But it was, anybody with a half a brain knew that it was poisonous and it killed pigs and no one else ate it, but it was apparently minced up and fed to Gotama. And I have all the book and verse citations with accurate translations. Let me see. I'll get you onto that one. Yeah, the other one was Karmadava. The other possibility, solution number two, is su and Karmadava, because su means juice or extraction thereof, and the Karmadava Pali designation is that the poisonous fruit-bearing plant, and what it likely is referring to is the Cerbera odolum, the pong pong tree. Angiosperm has this fruit. It's also called the suicide tree, pong pong or mentola, or it's also called othalum. There are two plants like this. One of them that has a green, highly poisonous fruit, and it causes the exact same symptoms that Gotama suffered. But this food was, not food, it was poison, was fed to Gotama as an assassination plot, which of course worked, by Kashyapa. I go on about all the things that Kashyapa did. He was this power-hungry loser that wanted to be the head of the order after Gotama was dead. He's a former ascetic and he was into Brahmanistic rituals. Gotama never conferred upon him the status of arahaship because he was not worthy. He did a lot of horrible things to destroy the order, and he plotted Gotama's demise. All citations indicate that this is true. I have a lot of book and verse citations proving this. He hated the opposite gender. He despised Ananda, who was the wisest and obvious leader after Gotama. He kept putting him down and turning the order against him. Gotama did not lead an order of monks, by the way. He led disciples that were Sotipanna, who were trying to go for Udam Soto, meaning upstreamers to the Godhead or the Absolute. Kashyapa was a fool of the highest magnitude. Anyway, I've got all this in the book. So, and like I said, if you look throughout history, people that were true, genuine masters of metaphysics, they were all assassinated. Your Christian parallel, this is the Buddhist parallel, yes. Children, boys, girls, Damen und Herren, Frau und Mädchen, Gotama, or what you would call the Buddha, was assassinated. Yes, he was assassinated. Undeniably, he was assassinated. Nobody else out there knows this. Nearly nobody. Anyway, so I wrote this little booklet for you. But all two possibilities, whether it's Sukara Madava, possibility number one, or Su Karmadava, the juice or extraction thereof of this poisonous plant, of which there are two. Likely it was the pong pong, or the suicide tree. The Cerbera odolum. Doesn't make any difference. Both of them are deadly poison, and they both cause the exact same symptoms. And this is a direct quote, like from Digna K 2.128. Having consumed the meal provided by Kunda, Gotama didn't get it in his begging bowl. Kunda, which by the way means betrayer. Kunda actually, that was probably not his name. Kunda literally means murderer or slayer. So this meal provided by Kunda, who is under the head of Kashyapa, who was the betrayer. He was the power-hungry lunatic. He wanted control over the order. And it's just a power-hungry. This is no different than like corporate America today, where everybody underneath the president is trying to off the president in one way, shape, form, or another so they could take power. Just power-hungry lunatics. So yes, boys and girls, Gotama was assassinated. I have the proof right here in my book. It's copyright by me. Free download. You can spread it to whoever you want. Has all the book and verse and has all the logic in the world behind it. I hope you like the book. If you do, any kind of donation is warmly welcome, but it is free. It's a PDF file. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like the book and have a nice day.